So welcome to Too Much Mary. This is part 2 of our interview. We have so much to talk about this topic that we decided it's all valuable. We're going to keep it all and just make it into 2 parts, maybe 3, who knows. I think that we finished the last one where we spoke about our perspectives, about our way of seeing sexuality throughout our lives. And now I would just kind of hand it to Mandy because you have something to speak about on this topic and I would love to hear it, and I bet Kelly too. And we'll just go from there and just, ask you questions or just speak about it or whatever resonates. Okay? So you can pick up the stick.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Yeah, so within my story and also Kelly sharing and Mary, a common theme, and this is like pretty common for most women, is this feeling of shame. And that's the word I put out. They were describing it, but the English word I would put to the experience is shame. And I was born, feels like right out of the birth canal, just like came out covered in shame. Like I was just ashamed that I was here. Don't look at me. I'm not worthy. I'm afraid of attention. Still working on that one. It's this fear. So shame is like a man-made emotion. Like it's not like a primal emotion necessarily, like let's say fear or anger or like joy or even love. Like shame is this interesting one. It's a little bit different, and it's I believe that it can be generational. Like I was born with shame from my mother. My mother had, like, I inherited her shame and then she probably inherited her mother's shame, and then there's also the cultural shame. And this is really unfortunate in my opinion. And that's like part of the reason I'm doing the work I do, is because I'm here to help heal the shame, specifically around sensuality and the feminine, her power, her voice, her pussy, her desire, and her sexuality. So like, boom, like what would it feel like today if your shame was evaporated, just like lifted and healed, like gone? Like who would you be? And how would you express yourself? How would you feel in your body? See, like when I feel like I'm like all tingly, when I feel like the shame lifting off, like I can breathe, there's like a relief. I get all very sensual. I want to cuddle. Like I feel like our natural state as a woman is soft and, feminine and sensual. We have a nurturing, many women are nurturing. And Kelly, to kind of answer your question that you were asking in part 1, or you were reflecting. So the creativity chakra is down here in the womb space. It's chakra number 2. And that one it's about creativity. And so like maybe one woman's creativity is her writing or her painting, or she sings. And it's the same area that the sexual energy is sourced from. So it's the same area, and sexual energy is also creative, and we have babies. And so it's all this area right here. And I've seen that there's just different, different women have their own level of sexual energy naturally. And so maybe someone has like a little bit, and I don't even know if I want to say this, but it just, what I've observed is that some women have naturally a little higher of a sexual charge there than others, but then it's like, then maybe this other person's more creative in a way of like singing or painting. And that one is not better than the other. But what I would say is that we all, to some extent, carry this shame, and it feels like it's time to challenge that, like rebel against it, or to just like say, I'm not participating. And then there's other tools. They are like therapy tools to go into each specific woman's experience and help her actually energetically shed it off and like heal the part in her energetic, system that like it's like a hole or something that's letting that in. And then if society is shaming the woman for, if she feels society shame on her from like dressing a certain way and going out in public, it's like, it's not her shame unless she picks it up. Like you don't have to pick up the societal shame. You could just see it and be like, okay, that's theirs. It's not mine. Like, is it my shame? And the shame is not a real thing, meaning is just projected onto us, you know. And what I've come to learn is that and this is like the truth, is that the feminine, erotic, sensual, her energy is power. And that's the thing that a long time ago, the patriarch, like, they wanted to control it and put it in a cage, and, basically say when it can come out and when it's not, when it's allowed to come out of the cage and when it's not, because this thing is so powerful. When the woman is in her erotic power, she will like hypnotize everyone and take over the planet. This is my opinion. And it's so powerful. And so the masculine is like, holy shit, what do we do with this thing? Let's put it in a cage and cover it up because it might take over. Now, things are changing a little bit now because it seems like there's a lot more conscious men coming forward. And what I was just referring to is like the way the patriarchy was set up, where it was like the man with the power and let's control everything and diminish the woman. And what I'm here to say is actually the woman has, in my opinion, more power. Like our nature is power, and that can be very intimidating to masculine. So my message with this, what I was talking about, is about the shame, and we all have it, and it comes from the culture, and I think it stems from religion. And it, again, in misinformation, sexuality is not a bad thing. It's a natural thing. It's beautiful. I do believe it's sacred. And so that's like my path has been learning that, I have had one night stands, and I have had promiscuous sex, and I have had unprotected sex, in my life with people where I was like, I don't even know that person. So looking back at those experiences, I needed to forgive myself, but also claim my body as sacred. And I could still have a sacred one night stand. That sounds funny. But as long as what I'm pointing to is like, as long as I'm honoring my body, if I feel like I violated my own body, then that's not great, because then that's not really self-love. Mm-hmm. And, sexuality expression in any form, I feel like, is okay as long as it's valuing the person's body and not hurting other people. So that's a message I wanted to say. And I'll say one more thing is, after addressing the person's shame, and I would next feel into what feels good. So then the desire, like, what is my desire? And this could be anything. Like, I desire ice cream, or I desire, a massage on my shoulder, or I desire to go into the sunlight today and take a walk. Or I desire, you can go erotic desire. And so having the woman practice, in a daily practice, feel, and this is a feeling. So this part is in the body, feeling what her desire is moment to moment. And then the next step after that would be asking for her desire, which, so it's kind of like where we're going with this is how to empower the woman to speak up and ask for what she wants, and then to receive is a whole nother chapter to this as well. So I'll pause right there, but thank you for having this space for me to share that.
I would love to, I guess, follow on from that and say, as soon as you use the word sensuality, so sensuality and desire, and that feels, I'm super aware of like my perspectives and what language does, for us, like our different cultures and the meaning of different words. But sensuality makes me want to move like instantly. I'm just noticing what goes on. So sexuality, I sort of go into this like very young girl, I don't know, and almost like telling the story to justify what I don't know. I'm just very aware. And then when I see Mandy, like just the way you move your body, the talking, the level of expression, the level of knowingness, I go, and there it is, there's the sensuality, there's the knowing, like it just feels like, soft and flowy. And I genuinely feel like there's like a few moments throughout the day, maybe like a few hours, when I'm writing, when I'm sat with myself, when I'm drawing, and that I feel those things. And then I wonder, when I'm interacting in the world, why sometimes I still feel so rigid and clunky. And then when you say desire, I go, my desires, actually my like channeled desires come out when I'm writing. It's safe. Even just recently, I've noticed that as I've gone deeper in my writing practice, I actually don't even feel safe to write out in my lovely lounge area that I set up. I have a ritual for writing. It involves lots of, like, a hot water bottle, lots of blankets around me. I put earplugs in, because even the sensation of having something in my ears warm is like another cushioning into my body, brings me right into my body and out of my head. And I just noticed all this, like, I can only write with a pencil and a particular paper. So I'm starting to, I mean, like, I can sort of feel like my mouth watering now. I'm starting to get into, wow, like, that is the level of love that my body wants. Like, everything is soft and warm, and like the pillows are all around my back and my tummy, almost like holding me, and then I'm able to, like, I feel quite emotional saying it, but like, I'm able to pour out. But the rest of the time, I'm sort of like wondering what is this earth experience, I don't like what are you doing? And so I think for someone like Mandy, like, what is Mandy's work then, to bring you close to yourself, to bring you a meeting with yourself. And what are we to do, because so many of us don't know. Like, we just don't know our way there. It's taken me 5 years. 5 years I've been on a really big healing journey to understand what my body needs. Really, right now, I don't even think about sexuality. I just feel like taking care of my tender body, soul, and seeing where that leads me, because, it's my job. But yeah, it's just fascinating. But sensuality feels inviting to me. Sensuality is calling me, and like, there's like a path, an opening, a soft treaded like carpet to go in, where sexuality leaves me like, I don't know where that is. So it's quite interesting, the contrast. Hey.
Yes,
I love that. I loved seeing just the two contrasts between, wow, like, seeing what we have within, that we can switch to this wild woman power, and into this nurturing, sensual, loving, cozy, warm power. I love that, because I also, like, before you guys discussed this thing, before you discussed how you both view differently, like, sensuality and sexuality, I always thought, like, I have to be one or another, like, I think that's like the whole Capricorn thing, it's also like, I have to go fully on into this, and just this, and just be stuck on that one thing, I always felt like, okay, I should define myself into this one thing and keep up with it and just be that, and I'm slowly seeing, even just this conversation, it's okay to be both of it, because I need both of it. There comes like a day where I just like dress myself up and just, be all pretty and just, put my glasses down and just like wear a cleavage, just be all fancy and schmancy, and just go out on a dinner with my boyfriend, and feel just totally sexual. And then there's this Sunday day where I'm alone at home, and I just light up the candles, and it smells nice, and I get on the couch and I just kind of go under the blanket like you, Kelly, and just have that cup of tea or coffee, and just, not doing my makeup, not doing anything, just putting that nourishing cream on myself, and just taking the care of myself. And I think we can just say that balance is important. Like, you can't always be in that super high intense sexual energy, and you can't always be in that, cuddly, nurturing, loving, warm, fuzzy space. I think there's like catching the balance. I think that's like my personal goal. Just how to balance that out, because I personally feel as well like I don't want to be one or another. I want to have a choice to switch between both of them whenever I feel like it. And if like I'll be high sexual being for 1 year, and then 1 year I'll just be, like under the blanket and just cuddly and everything. Like, it doesn't matter how much it is, as long as like it goes a little bit up and down, and that there's kind of balance. That's how I feel it, because when Mandy was describing her like fully on sexual experiences, I was like, yeah, I want that. Like, that sounds amazing. Like, I want to own that. Like, I want to be that woman who walks in and everyone is like, women and men are like, ooh, yeah, like that woman got it, and I also want to be that woman who takes like self-care time, pampering time, just like taking care of yourself. And yeah, it's just interesting that we came up on this subject, how it's also very important to be a bit of both, I guess, like not feeling the pressure to be both, but just kind of allowing yourself to feel into what feels right now for you, right? If it feels good to just be swirled up and have fuzzy socks on and just, write things and pour out and just be creative, that's amazing. But if you feel like putting on those red heels and that red lipstick and just having like, the best time of your life, that's amazing as well. And yeah, I feel as if like shame doesn't just target like when you're being full on sexual, but I think there's a bit of shame also if you're not being sexual. I feel as if I was in like a time of my relationship where I was like, for an extended period of time, I was just like this, having sweaters on, cute sweaters on, like just, being all sportsy and just never wearing heels and just being like all, just warm and fuzzy. And I had shame about that as well, because I felt like, oh, like, why don't I grow up and just be like hot, Like, also that was being a part of it, So I think that's like shame is on both ends of it. And I feel it's like about time that we stop putting shame to either of those, because it's not something to aim for, just be that or be shamed about that, and if you're not that, be like that, because that doesn't lead us anywhere, right? Like, it's just constant shame whatever we do. So yeah, do you guys have anything to add to that? Like, do you feel like that as well, that it's like there's no reason like for just feeling uncomfortable or ashamed or just whatever, because I had this time where I was like totally non-sexual, and I was worried if my boyfriend will look at others, because I was like there, like feeling like, just all the time creative, but nothing sexual about me. And I thought like, okay, I should be like that. And then, it was again, that pressure,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mary, what I heard you saying is like, or if I put it in my own words, is follow your desire. So it's rather, it's like the feminine way of being is fluid, it's flowing, and it changes shape. It's not linear at all. So it's like, what feels good today? Does it feel good to be sensual? Does it feel good to be sexual? Does it feel good to just stay in all day and put the blinds down? Does it feel good to be outside, play with dogs or cats? So it's like, it's because I heard you say balance, and what the way that I kind of see it is following the woman's desire of what feels good to her. Because if it feels good to her, it's going to be her truth. And so what we're trying to get to is the woman to be in her truth. This is idealistic, by the way, to be in her truth moment to moment, and doing, being what feels good to her. And all parts of her integrated, so that she fills up her whole space of who she is. And so that's like what I'm working towards is trying to be me in the moment. Yeah, I thought what you shared is brilliant, and I'm also happy to let go of the shame. Like, if we all just let the shame go, not even put it on top, just be like, okay, no more shame. That will bring all of us forward, and more in our power. So I'll wrap up my sharing there. Kelly, do you have anything?
No, I don't actually. The thing when you were talking, Mary, I was thinking about, so there's the learning, like when you meet somebody, like when I met Mandy, for example, as soon as like I heard erotic, and I didn't just hear what she was working on, but also why. That opens up a big new adventure for me. So I'm like, okay, I have someone new show up in my life that is meeting something that I really know nothing of. So I'm like a little girl, you know, I'm like really curious but also patient. I'm like, what is being shown here? How do I learn for me? Like this, you know, my creativity and my experience of day-to-day living is so immensely beautiful compared to 5 years ago when I was just a man, just masculine, working, you know, managing director, agency, killing it, no idea how to look after my body. So I go, okay, well, if I've done that in the last 5 years, really mostly by myself through self-inquiry and following and traveling the world, and then I'm to this place, sort of a bit more landed on the ground, going, okay, so there are some new adventures I want to have. And so I don't really think about balance. I go almost like what skills do I cultivate? How can I learn more about this? And just deeply be appreciative of who I am naturally. Like I really know the shame conversation. And my trick there, so like Mandy, I wrote down here, like, so, okay, no more shame, Mandy said. And I'm like, yeah, my sort of mechanism for that is I am not my thoughts. So here I am, I have this beautiful body and energy system that I'm learning how to use and accept and allow and travel with. And I'm not my thoughts when they overanalyze, should I be this, should I be that? Because mostly I am who I am. I've been like it now for 40 years. So when I see I'm really good at, like, say, like a beautiful woman that loves Gucci and all these labels. I know I used to adore that and I was trying to be that. Actually be in my absolute feminine essence is just pure accepting. And I would probably just have like a little tiny sarong around me with lots of creams and definitely conditioner for my hair. Like, I know the things that make me feel totally beautiful. Like really like sitting with my legs open and like up and like here makes me feel sexy, sensual, and all of it. So like I now have so much time that I've carved out for myself in this creativity space that is actually, I'm even only just realizing this speaking to you both, is that actually my own path and my own inquisitive nature for what next is it that I desire is showing me actually, well, what you desire you just created. Because my over mental mind sometimes would have me go, but I don't know what desire is. What does desire feel like? How do I know if I'm desiring? But I just go, well, everything you're desiring, you're creating. So just be here and have a look. You know, like right now that I'm on a call, there's 3 of us, beautiful connection, sharing, like innocence, pure love. And so, yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, ladies. I love this. Thank you for taking your time. I guess the biggest outtake for me of this conversation was we all have a different way of finding out what our feminine sensuality, sexuality is. We all have different ways that we express, notice, enjoy. And, you know, I think the only thing that confuses us sometimes is everything that it's out there showing us how it should be. And then we think that's the right way. And then we diminish everything that's happening within because we think that and see that, you know. And I just feel as if there is no right and wrong way. Just try it out. Even try what's out there and try what's in here. Maybe you will like out there what's happening more that will suit you better, you know. It's just trying it out and seeing it what works for you and just enjoying that parts of you. And if it shows in different ways, just take it all, you know. It's exploring, it's growing, and everything is a part of you, you know. Sometimes it will be shown in a different way than the last time. So I love that. I loved this whole conversation. Even just this, what I spoke about now, was just like what I learned from this call. So thank you, ladies, for your time. I really loved it. I think this will give a lot of value and a lot of like, you go for all of the girls out there who are wondering what's the right way, what's the wrong way, will you tell me any tips, will you give me like pointers, like what's okay, what's not, you know. Just do whatever you feel in this moment is soothing to your soul or your physical senses or whatever comes. So yeah, I loved it. Thank you, ladies. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, last question. Can I just for a sec? Just for a sec. I have this question that I said it's really interesting, and I will ask you both. And if you can just like in one sentence, it's a big question, but anyway, just to be mindful of Mandy and your time. What do you know at this present moment, up till now, that is what is like an absolute truth for you in your life right now? Oh.
I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm not behind.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and mine is actually to trust my perspective, my own unique perspective, in a world where we are full of the most brilliant, an abundance of resources that I love, that I flock to. Mostly my peace, my sense of inner peace comes when I'm just with a pen and paper and I make sense. Yeah, so it's to trust my own unique perspective of what brings me peace and understanding.
Okay. Thank you. So everyone watching, I will share all the links to where you can find these amazing two women and how you can get in touch with them if you want to learn more or work with them, connect with them. Just share your thoughts or comments. You can put it here under this video, and yeah, have a great week. And you two ladies have a great day. Thank you for being here. I'm truly blessed and honored to have you in my life, and that you really were yes for making this video. So
Thank you.
that would be all.
The real privilege. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. And thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.